It's not all dead. Did you catch the earlier live? Just another day on lockdown. Hi folks.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Well, hopefully okay.
Alright. You well, right? Earth. Yes. Have you ever thought about this?
Not really.
Water is always level, right?
Yeah.
Our seas are level, we say sea level. Our oceans, it seems to me logical, therefore, are also level. From England to America must be a level body of water. So if our Earth is 70% water, how does it ever become a sphere? And the natural physics of water is to find its level. It won't attract itself to the outside of anything. It will always run off and find its lowest point and settle flat. So we think that because NASA has been faking going to the moon and faking images of Earth from space, we think that they've deceived us about the nature of our world. We people who've been looking at this. People in general, just people who've had this brought to their attention that we actually can't measure any curvature on Earth, and if we live on a ball, as they say, we should be able to at least measure curvature over a given distance. And they say it should be many feet after just a few miles of curvature, and of course we know that things are level as far as we can ever see. So I'm just bringing it to people's attention that we've been deceived by our control management system, the government.
Well, we're being deceived by the government now.
About this virus. It's been so they've turned this virus into a reason to lock down the world when it's probably no worse than the usual statistics for flu.
Oh, it is.
Do you think so? Do you know people?
Well, I don't personally know anybody who's died, but I know that they are dying.
How do you know that?
You think everything is fake?
You think that's a fake?
I think that it's possible to invent from the coronavirus suite. It's possible to invent a test that singles out a particular part of it, call it COVID-19, and then test people who have often died from the flu or whatever at old age, now say, they also had COVID-19. But in fact, they always would have had whatever they had, and there's symptoms.
If somebody came to you now with COVID-19, would you let them come and give you a kiss on the cheek?
Well, I mean, if someone came to me with the flu, I'd say I'd prefer not for you to give me a hug. And that's the same thing, but I wouldn't treat them as though they were a leper, as though I had to keep my social distance. I walk around on the London Underground with people who've got the flu all the time, and I take my chances and I keep myself healthy. And if I keep myself healthy, then I'm generally, with these things, going to avoid them. And if I get them, I might feel groggy for a few days. No, but if honestly, I've spoken to loads of people and none of them know anybody who's died of COVID-19. Now, I'm not saying people aren't dying with that label attached to them, but it's a new label that's recently been invented, and it could be attributed to many people who died.
Lock down the economy side, would they, if it wasn't serious?
Or would they? This is the big conspiratorial question, my friends.
Between the both of you here, so I'll have to move on.
Well, I think that it's possible that this is a grand deception on a global scale, on everybody. Well, all the governments have worked in lockstep to shut everything down, and that seems to me at least suspicious, because these governments normally can't agree on anything, on climate change, on other kinds of things,
It's like the plague. This is a market plague. I mean, everything was closed with the plague. People died, and there was no economy to juggle against. So
Okay.
that was probably
Okay.
back in time.
Okay, so but I think a reasonable
And
person.
This is the same, you know,
But I think a reason.
modern time.
Well, ma'am, if I may, I think a reasonable person would say, yes, you and I have walked around town and we have seen on occasion over the last 2 weeks people just falling over dead. People who were once upon a time healthy in my family, all of a sudden COVID-19, and now they're dead. None of us have had that experience. If that were the case,
That's because we're keeping away.
no. If that were no, it's never happened. So to say it's not happening because we kept away, if it had happened for a week and we'd seen multiple deaths that we knew.
We've seen it on the screen.
The screen. Now, the tell-lie vision is the biggest tool of mind control ever invented.
No.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
This is screen when
I get this all the time, but
This is-
It's
This is
I
this.
understand.
good luck, my friend, but I can tell you for sure. I used to believe in the moon landings. Now we can say for sure, but with digital technology, they never went to the moon. You've never believed in the moon landing. So they lie on such a grand scale and no one calls them out. No Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi doesn't say, let me print a newspaper that tells people the truth about the moon landings. No one ever dobs them in. It's a big club. And those people that control the world are all in the same club, and they are controlling the human story
I
lockstep.
wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not convinced.
Politicians.
Well,
are
keep researching. There's some fantastic information on the net.
Politicians are in a big club.
You see, I'm on my
Yes, but politicians, who pulls the politicians' strings? You know, who's the head of the club? Because it's the left wing and the right wing of the same bird. The left leg and the right wing of the same beast or animal that seems to run this world.
And
And
find none of the politicians will die. Let's put it that way.
none of the politicians, well, no. Or if they do, they go away to the same island that all those other funny deaths go to. All the best, guys. Stay well. And don't fear anything. It's fear that's going to cause more illness than anything else. No, have no fear. And don't take the vaccine. When they come with the vaccine, they want us to take a vaccine, I think. Good for you. But they might bring in a system that says, if you don't have a vaccine, you can't use the planes, trains and shops.
It might kill me. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, good for you, ma'am. Stay well. Just drink clean water, eat clean food, be well, stay of good mind, keep walking, stay outdoors.
And don't forget the wine.
Well, occasionally. But if it's the wife that's whining, you might need to attend to that. All the best. Well, that was a nice little... I haven't finished my little artwork.
Good. Oh, easy, mate. I walk up and down in plenty of time, but now I'm 64, I'm too old. Can I get a sidecar? Definitely. You take care as well.
I hope you're all well. As earlier. Bearing up well in the circumstances.
Hello?
Hello, my friend.
There you are.
There you are. What a
Yeah.
star. What's your name, my friend?
My name is Richard, my friend.
Dick!
Dick, if you like.
We were talking about a friend of mine called Dick
Called worse than
Flinghammer.
Dick, my friend.
Nothing wrong with Dick.
I
Well.
loved it. Well, I don't. No, I like pussy, mate. I'm not into dick or buns or...
You can't script this stuff.
Look sick. You know, each to his own.
Well, you know, it is an interesting world we
Until
live
you're
in.
gay.
Can you?
It's where you're flashing your eyes at me. I'm only Don't care.
What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Hello.
What are you laughing at? That's no funny, man.
Yeah,
That's no funny. Dick here is calling me gay.
brilliant. The ocean's going to be clean.
The ocean's going to be clean. Why?
It's not designed for mind control.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh. What do you think?
It's designed for communication, for good people up there. For the aliens, it's a good thing. They're not trying to hurt us. They're saving our planet. That's why I am here. Okay. They're going to save the planet. All the sick people will be dead. Houses will be worthless. So we can move into that one or that one. Or we can have the castle if we wanted, but it's a bit drafty, you see.
I like where your head's at.
It's good. It's very good. It's going to be very good. Renewed earth all around, right? All the sick people dead. Now, people will get over this virus, right?
Yeah.
You've got rapists, murderers, paedophiles. They're all going to die. So we'll have none of them left in society. Bye-bye.
Wow. When's that happening?
It's going to all happen within the next 12 months. And then, you see, I thought there'll be problems with looting and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But I telecommunicate 20,000 miles away. So I called my boss up, right? And I've had soldiers around me right from the beginning. People doing you would not believe what they could do. So I said, look, call all our special forces troops from all over the world. And yesterday, 20,000 of them landed. Plus, we've got boys like this. These are stingers.
You, Dick. Yeah.
Okay, anytime.
Good luck, bro.
Wow.
This will all come true. Listen, you're going to have a free house, right? No council tax. When
Wow.
you work, no income tax. All the MPs will be, there'll only be one ruler of this country. And I don't want to be a ruler. I just want to have a normal life up here so they can pass my job to someone else. Because I don't want the power, because power is evil. Right? I don't want to know. I want to know when I'm just looking round, working out which people are going to die at the moment, and I can select my own house free, can't I? And all your heating, your cars, right? All your cars will be solar. Your heating, it's just easy, so simple.
Well, free energy.
Yeah, all free, all solar. You'll be able to cook a turkey in 3 minutes. You have to wait on it burning, do you?
Have you heard of the ether? Do you know what the ether is?
Ether. I've heard of Ethereum.
The theory is that the environment that we're in is like an ether, like an
Yes.
electromagnetic soup,
Yes.
and that we dwell inside of this we just see it as air and so on. But
Yes.
actually the ether around us, Tesla postulated or actually
Yes, he
demonstrated that it was full of energy. Cells and these big castles
You see
with free
what
energy.
You've got to remember, our civilization
Hey,
is
Karen.
20,000 years in
yeah, I've had
advance of
problems
anything.
with my
Okay,
phone.
take our spaceship, right?
Yeah,
The maximum speed we can travel at, second.
in our spaceship.
Yeah, but up there we can hover at 30 miles an hour. I saw 4 spaceships yesterday. You will not be able to see them. But I have the ability, like, you see that blue cloud up there? Take a photograph of the clouds, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's a small ship, right, to the back, and that there is a monster ship.
I'll get in touch, Karen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
You
the
think that's a
ta-
monster ship?
It's big.
Can I was, you know what, about 10 years ago, I was really starting to nibble at the idea of aliens being real, and
Right.
I was hoping to find life on Mars. I really was, Rich.
I'm-
So let me tell you just what happened to me
Yes,
at the age of
yes,
45.
yes.
I had a pineal gland opening. Boom.
Right.
And with my third eye was opened, and I realized that, we are some sort of integrated system.
Yes,
All
correct.
one, all connected,
Correct.
all love,
Correct.
all beautiful, and it's some kind of like God vibration, a hum,
Yes.
a resonance, a frequency.
It's the architect of the universe.
Yeah. So
right?
I became connected briefly to this, and went from an atheist to a believer in this higher power, or a
Yes.
higher power,
Yes.
in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the start for me, and then just a few months later, I discovered that the Earth that we live on, they say, is a ball, and that ball has a certain amount of curvature to it, because
Yes,
all
it does,
balls are
yes,
spherical,
yes.
right? But we can't, in science, physically demonstrate how water will cling to the outside of a ball without the use of this idea of gravity,
Yes.
which we can't prove.
Yes.
So it turns out that water should be bending a certain amount if we're on a ball.
Yes.
We've gone out and tested that, Rich,
Yes.
and we found repeatedly that we can find no
Yes.
bend, because water is always level, sea is always level,
Yes.
the oceans are always level,
Yes.
and therefore, if our Earth is 70% water, then our Earth is mostly going to be level and flat.
Yes.
All right?
But I must tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
how I got my alien intelligence,
Yeah.
and my son got it, right?
Yeah.
What actually happened was, my dad used to have a pub
Yeah.
called the Tirrit Arms at Shortferry.
Uh-huh.
I lived at Mince Pie Cottage nearby.
Okay.
My wife was 7 months pregnant with my son David. I drove from the pub at 12 o'clock at night, and I looked up, and there was a pointy cloud, and I thought, God, what's that?
Yeah.
And the ship
The old
stopped
Bill.
in front of me. I don't care.
Yeah.
The ship had stopped him. I controlled him, mate.
No, good.
Destroyed their car in seconds. No. The ship stopped in front of
Yeah.
me, and a big orange dome came out of it, right?
Right.
My wife was freaking out, screaming and everything. Now, I used to do a lot of shooting, and I had an over and under shotgun in the boot and some cartridges. And I looked up there and I thought, I've got no chance.
Yeah.
So I went out to the ship and I put my hands out like that. My wife and I woke up 1 hour later, asleep in the car.
Wow.
My son was born, and he's just written a book on modern philosophy. 1 year it took him,
Wow.
and it's absolutely brilliant. And that's my son David.
David, what's his surname? Your surname?
His surname is David Moore.
M-O-O-R-E.
M-O-O-R-E.
David
Okay,
Moore.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, Richard, nice to meet
I've
you.
told you everything you want
I'm David.
to know.
I'm David too.
I did not select what they did to me, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because everything they do will be for the good of Earth. And
Yeah, there's good things coming.
oh my
good
God,
things coming.
it's-
I'm not sure whether it'll end up with free housing, but it's
it
one
will
of
end
one
up
of
with free house. Boom, worthless. Shares for the greedy people, worthless.
Mm.
No MPs, no royal family,
Yeah.
no wasters left, just proper
good
people.
souls. Good
Okay.
souls. Keep the light bright.
The light, because look, how much brighter does it get than that, my friend?
The Jägermeister.
Ah, just one of our friends worldwide. You take care.
Good care. Take care,
Really
brother.
nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Dave.
likewise, Dick.
Yeah, you
Richard.
just, tell everyone what I said, and then oh, investments.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah.
This is where you're going to make a fortune. I want all the normal people to be billionaires.
Right.
When all the powerful people are on the floor and got...
But you should be turning the other cheek, brother. You should, if we want to stand on other people, we're no
Listen,
better
all
than
I'm
them.
trying to do is make everyone rich, right? Ripple.
well, we can be rich without like needing to be
No, we
billionaires,
can't.
right?
We can give it. We still give it.
We should have
away.
land.
Pardon?
You know, people should have land, and they
They're
should
gonna
have the
have
opportunity
land.
to put a house on that land.
Yeah, but the house is
That-
already there. All the
Yeah,
people
okay.
are dead.
Well, yeah, but they have crammed us in a bit.
I know.
And they're gonna see. That's what I think is that they've been cramming us into these cities because they want to keep people as much as possible totally hooked into the grid.
The
Totally,
slaves.
totally. Well, we are pretty much
We
all
are
of us
slaves.
and that's evident here, where all of a sudden the slaves are told they have to go back home and be quiet.
I'm going to give you this information. Its name is Ripple XRP, right?
Yeah.
And what it actually does, if Western Union send the money over to Australia, it takes 2 weeks. Ripple XRP, 3 seconds. No fraud or anything, right? Now, there'll only be
You say it's not a
one
sponsored note. Method.
cyber currency in the world. And this cyber currency will be XRP.
XRP.
They will do all the transfers, everything everyone gets paid for will be in XRP.
Wow.
Please watch The Simpsons
Yeah.
from America about 10 days ago. And it comes up XRP, right?
Right.
Now, he said,
You mean Homer Simpson? That's
yes,
Simpsons. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
At the moment it's 17 cents. He explains everything to you. And he said within 3 years it will be $589 a share. And the Simpsons are never wrong, my friend. And also, if you want to see a video on it, you want Ripple, right? Watch that. Watch the intelligence.
All right.
He is one of us. Good luck to you.
Fantastic. Yeah, all the best,
And
bro.
you're all right. You're going to get billions of pounds, but there's still going to be poor people out there.
Mhm.
I mean, I've got 40,000 shares in it, right?
Mhm.
So when it all is, it's $10,000 a share. The banks have been buying all this up under the counter. Greed, suppressing the price, the price. If enough people put into it, they come. Euro gone. Every currency's gone. There's only one, XRP.
Wow.
And this will come in within the next 18 months.
All right. You heard it here, friends.
You did put it
Thanks,
out.
Richard.
Put it out. I want normal people to have this money,
Mm.
not all these cunts, you know, that do nothing, sit on their asses. I hate them. They do nothing. They've been living off us for years.
Yeah.
They've made, with the credit cards and everything, they've made everyone slaves. Mortgages, slaves.
Mm.
We won't be slaves, my friend.
Slave no more.
Okay, put it out, sir. Put it
It's
out.
biblical. All the best. All the best. He's got a YouTube channel.
I don't. But my
I think
friend
he's
does.
just Ian James. He used to call himself as A Storm is Coming. A Storm is Coming, but now it's Ian James.
Well, I will
Go
ask
sub him if you haven't.
what
But
was it called?
he doesn't talk a lot yet. Trinity 4.
Trinity Hall.
Trinity 4. The number 4. The number 4.
Joe, can't you call it 5? 4 is the Chinese death number. They won't watch it. Take care, bye-bye. Oh, I'm getting away from
Well, it was
you.
Trinity 4 Man is the original name of the channel, but I shortened it to Trinity 4. The
Right.
Trinity 4 Man, because the man
Okay.
has the Trinity.
If you explain that,
We need to take
if
care
you
of that.
explain that, the Chinese will then watch it. Take care.
I don't think the Chinese are taking
Little
notice.
correction for you there.
All right, Dick. Well, there you go. You heard it first. XRP. He's saying that's the digital currency to go and get. The police came and went. I was going to go and talk to them actually. They just had a little butcher's hook, a look. Anyway, yeah. So, I flipped it around twice. Let me just so. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I think yeah, Karen, if you're still there, I'll try and get in touch. My phone, I lost my phone. Stopped working. It stopped charging. So but I've got this other phone, and today we put the SIM card, my SIM card in. So I'm operating as though it is. Yeah. So maybe I'll be able to get in touch. I'm quite cold and shivering, so I apologize for the shaky delivery. Lincolnshire is full of RAF, Royal Air Force camps. Yeah, I've been coughed on and shook hands. Yeah, there's no here. Hello, mate. All right. Man on bike with daughter. Television. Young lady, you all right? You doing well? Hello. Oh. Perhaps I wasn't observing sufficient social distancing. That shows you, though. This is what I've been saying. You know, people are actually dude with mask, taking precautions, holding a phallic image in his hand. I don't mean the letter, I mean the Amazon logo on it. It's a big hill there, mate.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's alright going down, it's getting back up again.
Hey, what goes up must come down. It's the true law of nature. And they've stolen it with gravity, you know that when the tree lifts up the apple, yes, because the tree actually lifts up the apple droplet by droplet, eventually it forms the apple, doesn't it? But it's actually lifted, it's lifted the water up bit by bit, and eventually it's heavy enough to fall back down. So it's
actually gone up in the first place.
it was being pulled up in the first place to create that initial energy that then pulls it down. But then to give that a name and say, oh, that's gravity and that's a force from below and all that sort of thing. No, it's just the opposite reaction to the initial picking it up.
What goes up, one comes down, vice versa.
So we've been given this gravity as a proof to us that water is then going to cling to a ball. But in physics, we can't show that. We can't demonstrate ever water conforming to the outside or exterior of any shape, let alone spinning shape or a ball. The water will always run off the ball and level flat, water level, sea level, ocean level. And if Earth is 70% ocean, then it's 70% flat. There's no way it's a curve. So we look into NASA and we find out that NASA is hoaxing us about going to the moon and even having an international space station at 200 miles in space. All of this stuff can't actually be really verified. How they constructed the ISS, they never built it on the ground. There's no images of it actually being built in situ and then shipped up in parts. Everything seems to be either done on wires or done perhaps in a swimming pool. And we often find on a spacewalk bubbles leaving the helmets and things like that. So it may be the case that NASA is just a great big psychological operation to hoax people into believing into a thing called outer space, and that there are things, planets, rocks, all floating around each other in the vastness of space.
That film in the 70s, wasn't it, where the moon lander was rigged?
Yeah.
What name was it?
What was that?
Was it named after the Apollo?
It wasn't Apollo. It was not Apollo Rising. What was the name of that movie where they showed how the moon landing had been faked? Where they were going to Mars, I think. Wasn't it the one they were going to Mars?
This was one in the 70s. Supposed to be faked.
Yeah. But the guy.
Good thing about it.
Yeah, so they have been kind of telling us that they are faking it, but people prefer to believe that we're actually going into space and we're doing things out in outer space and spinning around the Earth at 19,000 miles an hour, but none of this stuff can be critically verified.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, well, good luck, my friend. All the best. And don't fear this COVID thing. It's really nothing much more than a common cold, it seems.
I know that.
You know.
MH.
MH?
Yeah, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
9 out of 10 people have got it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Well done, you,
That's
sir.
the one you've got to be.
Mass hysteria. I love it.
MH.
Fueled by who? Fueled by the government. Well, to crash the economy.
Either that or because a lot of shops, not all, want you now just to use the plastic, which is a bit of a farce. And I'm wondering if it's one of the government's things to do away with cash money and just do the plastic economy. So, well, you did it for so many weeks, you can do it now. And then the other thing is 2 meters apart?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can understand if it's lice, because they jump from person to person. But a flu bug is coughing or droplets or sneezing. Yeah, I agree with you.
Good, man. Well, you stay well and don't
Thank you, yeah.
spread the good news. It's really nothing to fear. And if people do start falling over really with inexplicable illness, if they do start doing that, look into this connection between the COVID virus and Wuhan province turning on 5G. They say that they turned on 5G at the same time as they had this spike in COVID. So people are saying that there might be a connection between 5G and COVID. So this might be preparing us for a coming tsunami of sickness that comes when they switch on this really intense vibration frequency. That's just a theory, but just...
They don't switch it on before I've had my holidays. I'm going back to the pool and the willow. I had it planned, and unfortunately, it looks like my May tickets are about out now. Still hopeful. It looks like I'll have to do a bit later from one.
Yeah,
So,
no one wants to move around at the moment. Everybody's just complying with the government. Isn't that odd in itself?
I mean, there's certain people who will just pay lip service to, obviously. But I'll never go in Asda again in Highcombe. I went down there on the bike. I thought, oh, I'll pop in there. And that's what gets me when people give emergency powers. People take it to the head as power. And I was just laid on the self-service tools.
Yeah.
Go there, it's quick.
Yeah.
And get behind the line. Get behind the line. And I thought, well, what bleeding line? Where? It's no fluorescent line. And it was just where the mat or carpet go with the blanket.
Right.
And she waited there because my toe was about 3 inches over it. And I was in 2 minds just to drop the chopper and say, keep it.
Wow.
I thought, well, I'll cycle this way, I'll get it this time, but you'll never see my customer
Wow.
again. She reminded me of, if you remember that remake, The Titanic, in the 80s, 90s,
Mm-hmm.
where one of the officers lost his cool and fired his pistol.
Yeah.
I thought, she's the type of person given a pistol,
Yes.
and she go past the line, she'd relish it.
Yes.
And,
Yes, that happened to me the other day, a week ago. I went to go and get a refill on my gas canister for my camper van, because I'm in a camper van at the moment. And this guy at the shop was like, hey, only one in the shop. There's 3 of you. Only one in the shop at the time, and you stand. And it was a good 3 meters back from the counter. You stand behind that line. We don't really want to take your cash either. So this was where they were at already a week ago. And then I stood back at the door while my mate went to try and buy the gas, right? And I'm sort of having a little bit of a banter with the guy, and he says, hey, I know someone who's got COVID. It's very serious. Get out my shop. Get out my shop. And this is, as I said to my mate, he was so wound up that if he had a shotgun, he might have even brought it out and put it up and said, get the fuck out.
Well, it's a very intelligent virus because it doesn't target. You go in Wilco and that, and they're standing there, and she's standing at the door. Keep your distance, 2 meters or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a rubber, and yet you go in, and you have to go within a couple of feet to give your cash in.
Yeah.
So this virus obviously sees Wilco, shop assistant, or Morrison's shop assistant, and go, we can't go there. It's a farce, man.
It's a farce, brother.
I'm getting off.
All right, well,
Got a long ride back to Welcome.
all the best. Good for you, man. Keep that mind nice and clean like it is.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, like
Have a bit of fun to your right.
yeah, and humanity will win this out. We just need to stay up. Keep the vibration high. Cheers, brother. Oh, that was a nice conversation, right? Did you relish that? Because Lincolnshire flat. They love the authority. What's Event 201? I've heard of that. Dave Murphy got something to do with that. Have you heard of this Event 201, Ian?
Yeah,
Do you know what it is?
it's a fake event.
Oh.
Like they've put together for pandemic scenarios. It's global shit.
Wow.
Global. Worldwide.
Yeah, it is called. Anyway, it's very quiet. It's very quiet here. So we call it a day, mate. I'll call it a day, friends. That was a nice conversation with that guy. And people are seriously caught up with this. So, such a spell we're under. Such a spell.
Literally near.
And it's like we can walk around and see.
It's just right on the floor. Alright. in a bit, mate.
Hello, mate. I wrote this.
Hi.
Hi. I wrote this.
You wrote this?
Have you heard the expression sea levels?
No.
You haven't heard sea level?
Um,
Water level?
Yeah, water.
Water
yeah,
level?
Yeah,
Okay.
sea level.
No, they always talk about like a height above sea level.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about which height or which sea they're leveling on? Because if we live on a globe, surely the water must be bending all the
I
time.
see what this is. Yeah, the Earth flat thing.
Earth is,
Yeah.
well, the Earth is probably an electromagnetic torus field, we think, but we're not sure. So we have to say we don't have a working model, we don't know exactly how it works, but we know for sure that rocks don't float.
That's quite an interesting concept.
And it's a mind-blowing concept. 5 years ago, I only found this out, and
Yeah.
so I have to go around telling people the truth
How
that
do
we've
we
been lied to.
explain the photographs of the Earth as an orb?
Well, they could be photoshopped, right? Well, we know for sure that, I mean, NASA say on their own website that their photos are all CGI.
Yeah.
They have to be, because as they, in their own words, say, they take strips of data and stitch it together and make a ball from that.
Yeah.
And they have to fill in some blank spots because of the way that the satellites work. This is what they
What about
tell us.
COVID-19 being mind control. What's that about?
Well, we look at critically at COVID. Government has actually downgraded it. It's said itself that it's actually not that serious as a communicable disease, and the implications of getting it are really not that bad.
Yeah.
You know, we know we've got flu in our world. We know we've got certain kinds of conditions that when someone who's sick, say a very old person, is sick in hospital, and then they get the flu, they die.
Yeah.
Now they've got a test that says they also had COVID-19. So now we just tick that up to COVID-19. When perhaps if you'd gone 10 years ago and done the same test, you would have found that a similar percentage of people already had this COVID-19 thing. Because,
Yeah.
but because they've designed a test now that singles that out of the suite of coronavirus, which we've known about for many, many years. There's plenty of detergents from the back in the day that have on the back, kills coronavirus.
Yeah.
So coronavirus has been around a long time, but now they've invented a test that singles out bits of the coronavirus, and now they say, oh, you've got it.
Yeah. I'm not really panicking about it.
No, but many people, everyone's shut down. Everybody, the world has basically shut down on the
Yeah,
basis
yeah.
of a flu virus or something that has killed a few tens of thousands of people at best. I think that they're over-reporting it by saying if you die of cancer and you have COVID, we'll call it COVID. But you're already on your deathbed, but we found COVID, so we'll call it, it's another one to that. Don't
I
worry.
hope it ends at some point.
Well, let's just say there is some meta game going on here, and it's all being centrally controlled. All the governments are working to the same kind of master. They've all kind of fallen in line. Everything's sort of dropped. The world is just completely shut down. Everywhere I look around the world, it's all kind of shut down on the basis of a few tens of thousands of deaths. When that many die in car crashes, that many die in so many different ways,
Yeah.
and of cancers, and then in their tens of or in their millions every year. And now we're shutting down on a few flu deaths.
Let's
So,
just hope at some point everyone gets back to normal.
well, do you think that we'll only get back to normal when we get told by the master, the government? Because the government says you can't work now, so we don't work.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Because we're meant to be like, if you understand that in natural law, we're meant to be at the top of the pyramid here. The man should have no authority above him. That's what true
Top of the food chain.
what true anarchy, meaning no leaders or no one on top of you, no one below you.
Yeah.
That's what we should have, and now we've given government so much power that they've basically said, no, well, you've got to stay at home. School's closed, shops closed, businesses closed.
Can't they, if you're outside?
Well, they're trying to threaten people of that, but I don't know that they can. They're really trying to intimidate people with this idea that they can do that, but I really don't think that they can, because I am a believer in a higher power, in like a creator to this world. I was an atheist 5 years ago. I had a pineal gland ayahuasca experience.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, opened my mind to the realization that I am part of a great creation.
Yeah.
And that great creation is our creator. And there should be no master, no pope, no priest, no kind of
Yeah, we should be free.
governor
Yeah.
between you and the creator.
You're saying we should be free. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Truly free. But people who've been, we talk about the land of the free, and when we're also free and we can do whatever the hell we like, and I do this, everybody's shut down. All the cool kids in town, they're all at home playing with their Xbox.
Well, some are still out.
So some are still out, and it's good to see. But in the main, the world is shut down, and
I'm
the old
not really
people.
panicking. I mean, I'm not really panicking. I'm just obviously staying indoors because I've been told to. But I still go out.
when I need to. You know, but it's annoying I can't work, and it's annoying I can't go to certain shops. It really is, but.
But it's more important than those material aspects on your world is that actually it's shown the dog who is master.
Yeah.
Because the dog is now cowering in the corner going, yeah, I was barking a minute ago, but the master has now put his boot on my neck and I'm cowering.
Yeah.
And that is what humanity is doing.
Yeah.
For some magical reason that we're all such heroes, all going, oh, come on, you football, la 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 la. The lads walking up and down here on a Saturday evening, all their beers in hand, come on, you lads, let's get going. And where are they now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're indoors, we're all knocked up indoors, and that. No, and some of them are genuinely frightened of potentially getting the flu.
I'm honestly not, I don't really
Good
care,
for you.
right?
Well, don't be frightened of that at all, because there is nothing to be frightened of, you know.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
After coronavirus, I could shake your hand.
Yeah. Well, and even if you do, as I say, I think we've all had it for a long time, you know. Or coronavirus has been around for a long time.
Have you got a YouTube channel or something?
Yeah, Trinity 4, the number 4.
I'll just...
Trinity 4.
Yeah.
And you can, what's your name?
Paddy.
Paddy.
Yep.
Paddy. Okay. I'm Dave.
Nice
But
what you do.
yeah, likewise.
Do you want to just type it if you can?
You know,
TRINITY
TRINITY space 4. Number 4.
So that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's the profile picture?
It's me. It's my face
Oh yeah,
without a
I
beard.
recognise you.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Yeah.
Well, cheers for that anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Good
All
luck.
the best. Thanks. Lovely to chat. Stay well. Yeah. Alrighty. There you go. Nice conversation. Yeah. Nice conversation. Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed that conversation. All the farmers around here are going to have drawers full of notes and coins. I've seen them. Yeah. Cool young man and intelligent. Yeah. Oh, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you. As you can see, this was obviously built with windows in the ground on purpose. This is nothing to do with mud flood. Stop talking about mud flood as though it's real. As though it's a real thing. Just to get light into the basement, you know. Not here though. They didn't want it here. That was unnecessary. Too much light in there, and the rats and stuff would get blinded. And go for this one because again, not too much light down there, huh? Maybe I can have a quick conversation with this dude. They love the extra authority. People do. Well, we're in love with authority. Yeah. Hey, all right, mate. You all right? Can I do you mind if I have a chat with you? I'm just streaming live on my YouTube channel. Yeah. You delivering stuff today?
Yes.
Have you been given like special rules for engaging the public?
Yes, we're not allowed, normally because we have a secret sign.
Can you turn off your engine or must it keep running?
Yeah, I can.
Because it's just a bit noisy. Oh man.
Yeah, normally we would get signatures for every delivery, but we're not allowed to anymore.
Really?
Now we're placing the people's parcel on their doorstep and taking a picture of it on their doorstep.
Wow. And knock and drop.
Contact out.
Wow.
Rather than 100 people touching it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to sign on it.
Yeah.
So cut out the contact if you like. But yeah, other than that, business as normal really. Well, say business as normal. Normally I would do all the high street and most of my day would be doing all businesses.
Yeah.
Of course they've all gone.
Yeah.
But it's just bulked up in home delivery.
The home deliveries have gone crazy, right?
Yeah, residentials. And it's busy.
Yeah.
It's busy. I've done 100 deliveries today.
Whoa. Wow.
I've done that every day this week.
Wow.
I did a bit more yesterday. I did 109 yesterday.
Helps that there's no cars on the road, obviously.
It's
Wicked.
a dream in some ways.
Yeah.
Instead of half an hour to get in and out town, it's 10, 15 minutes.
So all the residentials, they're all knock and drop. You don't actually see anyone.
Well, I do have to see them because I have to take a picture of the parcel on the doorstep with the door open to prove that it's in their house.
Oh, right. So they have to open the door,
Yeah.
and then you take the picture, and then you walk away.
Yeah.
And what do people feel? Are they frightened? Are they?
95% are cool.
Yeah.
the odd one who were
Yeah.
like, no, don't want to open the doors. You know?
Really?
And, yeah. Of course, we're not allowed to just leave them.
Wow.
It has to be seen as being on their premises.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 95% of the people have been pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And do you think there's like a real risk to your health, or are you pretty chilled about it?
I'm not too concerned.
Yeah.
Personally, quite fit, quite healthy.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not too concerned
Yeah.
myself.
Have-
I keep fit, do a lot of running and stuff.
Okay.
So.
Have you heard anyone suggest that coronavirus is like a form of a flu? Have you heard that?
It is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a version of the flu, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I've
Yeah.
heard. Also.
Yeah. Every year, 600,000 people, 500,000 people die around the world from flu. So what if I invented a test that's called one of those flus COVID-19? And then I said, oh, look, 20, 40, 50,000 people have died from COVID-19, which is a segment out of the whole 500,000. But now I've created a worldwide pandemic and a worldwide fear thing and shut down the entire world on just a version or strain of flu that was kind of always there, but we never had a test to identify it.
Yeah.
Now they've invented a new test, and they thought, oh, look, you've passed this new test. And when in fact you would have passed the test 50 years ago, 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, when you'd already had flus before and it already had COVID in it,
Yeah,
for example.
Yeah, I've heard similar things about this very thing. Yeah, because, like you say, it's just another strain of something which happens to us every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like you say, they're just putting a label on this one, aren't they?
Yeah. And high,
Almost created a fear with it.
yeah. And maybe even they're taking, say that someone dies of cancer-related conditions and flu, and they say, can we test that one for COVID-19? Ah, yes, they had that too. So COVID-19 killed the person, but it wasn't the chemotherapy, it was the COVID-19. So this is how I think we're being played. There may be a tsunami to come down the line for some reason, but that's theoretical stuff. But what we see at the moment is there doesn't seem to be that many people.
They've said that anyway, haven't they? They've said once this year passes, it'll just become just like the normal flu and will go around. I just reckon it's going to take it to go around for us to be able to build an immunity against it. Don't they?
Yeah, but you know, when I was a kid, right, I went to school and I got the flu or whatever. They wouldn't shut down the whole school just because I got the flu. They'd be like, okay, stay at home. Yeah, exactly. So there has to be something more to it than simply 20, 50, 60,000 people got flu and died.
Yeah, definitely. I know exactly what you're saying. What are they up to? That's the question, isn't it?
What are they up to? And why have they forced us all indoors?
Question of control. Why are they suddenly wanting to control and shut down like they are? Because it can't be that good for the government.
No. Well,
The tax income must be right down. Instead of gone up, going outwards with that.
yes. But the thing is the government can simply print money from their friends at the Bank of England and then charge your children. Yeah, and then charge your children for the loan. And that's how so they can fund any amount of things because they just push money, print, hit the screen, hit the keyboard, and boom, they've got another $1 trillion. And then in 10 years' time, you're having to pay a little bit more income tax, a little bit more this, a little bit more that to repay this unfortunate COVID outbreak, and perhaps a slight overreaction by the governments.
I reckon it's been the biggest death count of the day, though, so far today, don't they?
Yeah.
500 people.
Well,
Okay. 24 hours.
Okay. Well, I don't want to underplay it, but at the same time, I also know that they're doing a lot more testing. So
Not as much as other countries, though.
Okay, but the more you test.
Germany are leading, and Germany are doing 500,000 tests a day.
Wow.
We're doing 5 to 10.
Wow.
If that. And that's why Germany are leading this and ahead of the budget, whereas
So we need to
we're
spend.
behind
So we need to spend more money. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
we need to get more testing
do we
going.
though, do we?
Yeah, I mean, again, if since when did we start testing everybody in my school for flu when I got the flu? Why would you test the whole school? And it's only flu. And if another kid gets it, so what?
Yeah,
And if your great-great-grandma who's almost going to die then gets it and dies, you know what? These things happen. But no, this is what I think. And again, the more people you test, and I say if the COVID was already in the suite of your flu viruses that you've had in your lifetime, and they can pick up the markers of that, they go, oh yes, you've got those markers. That means we all say your death was attributed to COVID-19. So they're fiddling with the figures, I think. And when you look at hospitals around the place, they don't seem to be busy at all. It's not like you're seeing, as I've said,
I deliver to the hospital every day though, and it's manic at the minute.
Really?
Every day when I get there,
Well, that's
it's
fair enough.
manic. They've got
What hospital is that? With deliveries?
Yeah, I only go into a delivery bay.
Oh, so but what about the patient side?
I don't know. I don't see that side. Literally, I don't go in. I just pull into.
But they're taking a lot of deliveries.
They are, and it just seems generally busier.
Really?
More
That's
staff
interesting.
racing about.
Really?
More going on.
What hospital is that?
Lincoln Hospital.
Oh, okay.
I deliver there every day.
Okay.
Well, like with our trade though, it comes in peaks. Peak one day and there'll be a lot more deliveries there, and then it'll level out for the rest of the week, and then next week you'll have a busy day again. You know what I mean? That's how this trade works, because the way the parcel distribution around the country works.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems more going on. Just because there's more people racing about, more people trying to get hold of their stuff. And just a bit more manic.
If I was to suggest to you, because someone I know has a friend who I think works at Lincoln Hospital, and she says that their ER is empty, or they're not busy in that side of things. So if I was to just suggest to you as like a conspiracy theorist, right, that what if they were preparing for a tsunami that was coming? That they aren't actually busy in the ER now, but they know that that something's about to happen.
That's all about. That's why they're practicing all this social distancing and everything, isn't it? To try and slow down the outbreak.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've said already it's going to get worse before it gets better. Like today, like I say, it's just announced on the news not long ago that the biggest amount of deaths so far.
Right.
500 deaths in a day.
Right.
And that's we're starting to peak now, I think.
Okay.
But who knows? You know what I mean? It could still get worse. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I mean, I find that fascinating. I'm not saying that there isn't going to be some tsunami, but across the country, 500 deaths is one per local GP, one in every 10 GPs or whatever. There's 50,000 GPs. You know what I mean? There's so many. That's not really an awful lot when you think about the number of people that die from.
Like the cases in Lincolnshire, what I was reading last night, I think there's been 113 cases in Lincolnshire. There's 755,000 people.
Right. That's not.
Even 1%.
Yeah. And again, the death rate for people that get it is 3% or 2%, something like flu. You know what I mean? And that's, again, when you've got a population group from 0 to 100 years old, in that group you have vulnerable people. And when they get these kinds of things, as they do all the time, then yes, they will pop their clogs and they will leave this realm.
Of course.
And that's the nature of things, and that's okay.
If you look into the conspiracies, they say, that the government's released this just to get rid of the weak of society. Because that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
The weak and the people who aren't fit, you know what I mean, or healthy, or the elderly in particular. Well,
I tell you what, if it ends up that like thousands are dying per day for any length of time, then I would say, okay, maybe that theory has some merit. But at the moment, again, I'm still in the numbers of flu, in the normal kind of trend of flu. So it's not like, it's just that they've drawn our attention to it. And they said, oh, look, these people are dying now, but perhaps they were always dying and we just never paid attention to it. So, so until I see something that says, sheesh, and I'm walking around, or in my family, people say, you know what, he was healthy and then COVID, then he was like, now he's dead. If that starts happening, I'll go, yeah, okay, this is a real kind of thing, and there's something going on here. We say there could be a link to 5G. So if that does happen,
I've heard that as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that. Social medias. So I reckon Wuhan, where it started, was one of the first places to go full 5G across the board.
yeah, you're in the know. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep
So-
your ears and eyes open.
Good, because so we think that this could be like the precursor to them turning on 5G in the UK and Europe and America, etc., etc. And so when they turn it on, there will be a reaction amongst people. Some people will immediately become sick, and so that they can write that off as COVID would be very handy rather than having a technological backlash.
Yeah.
Right.
Put a label on it.
Yeah, call it COVID. We've got all our hospitals are all tooled up. They're all good to go. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, you never know though, do you, nowadays? All police are around.
Yeah.
doing
No,
the
you never know.
rounds, Doing the rounds. I see them more than ever nowadays.
Oh, do you? Mm.
They're all over,
Mm.
mooching about, checking up on everybody.
Mm.
I have got to get a move on.
All right, my friend. Well, it's been lovely talking to you. What's your name?
I'm Tom.
Tom, I'm Dave. You want to shake my hand? Shake my hand! Good man, Tom. All the best. I'm a family man. I've got 3 children. I love my family. I love humanity. You know, we're going to be good, but we've been lied to and completely mistreated by the system. And people have to work this out.
Pinch of salt, haven't you, and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. You take it with a pinch of salt and keep the water clean. So, oops. Oh, cool. Operation Popeye, National Guard is deployed in Rhode Island and Colorado, armed, and there are checkpoints. Damn. It's all over the American news. If you don't believe me, 24 SOS Constitution is dead. It is a real shame. Operation Popeye, America, the land of the free, is getting a real rude awakening. Real rude awakening. And I see, military, I feel military kind of being drawn into this more and more. And military operate to different kind of rules to the police. And in a way, and as a former military myself, and when you're in military mode and you've been given an assignment or whatever, you go and carry out that assignment. Perhaps you very much believe the threat has passed down by your hierarchy. So this might be the next step. Yeah, and the guy's just saying in Rhode Island they got checkpoints up now. I think that's to move between states. You've got to have papers to move, and I think this is the thing about the vaccine. It's not going to be quite so easy just to kind of step away from it. How's my social distance? How is my social distance? No, that's fine. Am I far enough away? Good. Have you been practicing social distance? Is it something?
Come out with housemates, that's it.
Do you think that we're a threat to each other, like health-wise?
I think everyone is at the minute.
Do you?
At the minute, I think if they're not acting properly, then
What is acting properly?
they're not abiding by public the guidelines.
Really?
They're obviously trained, doctors are trained for a reason. So.
And in terms of COVID-19, do you consider it to be a lethal thing, a frightening thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, you can see the people that have been missing in America, and then their death rate is shocking. Isn't it?
The American death rate is shocking. And do you know anyone who's died?
Not yet. No, our friend's lecturer died yesterday. Yeah, my friend died 2 days ago.
Wow. And did he have COVID?
Yes.
And were there other health complications?
He was elderly.
Oh.
I think he did, and the lecturer was elderly as well.
Right.
No.
Because everybody that I know, or anyone that I know of who's been sort of said, they got COVID-19, generally they were already quite sick or quite old.
Yeah.
So they were already in that kind of like, one more little thing goes wrong with you and you get tipped over the edge kind of thing, you see.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes in these cases, people get pneumonia and flus and things like that, and that causes them to die because their immune system is already so weak. For young people, or generally for most people in the world, flus go around, we get a flu, we recover in 3 or 4 days, and life goes on as normal. We don't shut down the whole school because I got flu, and we don't shut down the town because what if I pass it to somebody who passes it to grandma who's almost at the edge of death anyway, and then she dies. And then you invent a new test, and you call the new test COVID-19. And COVID-19 is a test that looks for certain markers in the flu virus, or in what was known as the coronavirus suite of viruses, if you like. And they found one called COVID-19, and now they're testing for it. And so because I've invented a new test, and I invite you to take the test, and you either pass or fail that test, I can now say, it was COVID-19 that killed you, when in fact it was simply a flu that I've now singled out as COVID-19. And I think that's when I look around the death rate of generally in the flu season, how older people in hospital kind of fall foul of something like influenza and they die. We look at 500,000 people every year dying from that kind of condition. So we're seeing 10, 20, 30,000 people, sad as that may be, but if these were older people and they were going to die, then, let's not turn it into a worldwide pandemic. That means we shut down all of the school and all of the businesses and all of the economy. Because the impact on the economy, just because I got a flu, why should your child not get to go to school because I've got flu? Well, this is basically what we've done. We've taken what seems to me a common flu, given it a particular name, and now said that flu is particularly communicable, which the government recently downgraded, and it said, no, it's not that serious, and it doesn't kill healthy people. If you knew people, right, that were falling over, and we were seeing people on your social media network falling over, healthy people who were all of a sudden, she was well, and now 2 days later she's died from COVID. And we all knew 5 people like that. I'd say absolutely, okay, maybe this is the right reaction. But otherwise, I'd say that they're overreacting for a reason, and the reason is to control humanity at a very particular time in the cosmic cycle of sort of events. And we are perhaps far more important than simply like these material little robots that they've created and slaves that they've created. And if you don't think you're a slave, or you don't think that our community has become enslaved, then look around you now and ask, where is everybody? How easy has it been with a common flu and a few people that died on TV? Or maybe someone you know who was already sick and they've now attached COVID to it. To say now, all of us have to stop seeing each other, all of us have to stop doing business with each other, we have to basically shut down. There's something really wrong with that, and the ultimate answer is that it comes back to who you are and what the system is that we live in. And that the system of government and religion and so on that has been designed to control our minds and to hold us in a particular box, and it's now being pressed at the moment, well, that system is about to, I think, crumble. And a new system is going to replace it. And the question is, where will you be when the new system comes? And where will your mind be? Will you be willing to easily walk into that next stage of slavery? Or will you be able to free yourself from this next round of control that seems to be coming our way? So that's, I know that sounds a little bit kind of heavy duty, but the truth is that you are a divine soul, or you are a divine spark of the creator of this world. You are indeed. And our science and our religion would have you know none of that. They want you to think that you're a monkey from evolution and, live on a spinning ball that, makes absolutely no sense in the physical world. And that you're not important, when in fact you are the center of creation, and that all of creation is centered on each of us. And each of us might well be the sort of incarnation of the Christ, of the light of God, if you like. And that light of God, that spark of the Creator, needs to be allowed to burn brightly and not be controlled by this draconian system that we live under, and that's currently demonstrating its power by making everybody stay inside because someone got a cold. So I'm offering you this information with love, because the truth is that we come from a place of love, we return there, but this place here where we live now has various activities by controlling nefarious activities. And it's maybe our turn for the light to return, and for us to ascend, to get back to love, to get back to loving who we are, loving nature, loving this place enough that we can change it from this darker world to something much more beautiful. So that's my little bit of information. Do you have any questions for me?
What are you filming it?
My YouTube channel. I'm Trinity4 on YouTube. You can check it out as the number 4. Trinity4 Man, because we are all the three. You know, God is in you. You man. What's it they call? Body, soul, mind, body, and soul. Now, this system is demonstrating that it has your mind and it's trying to control your body. Ultimately, it wants your soul. You need to find a way to protect your soul, be well, be happy, don't be worrying about stuff, get out, plenty of sunshine, ground your feet if you can, go barefoot on the ground, learn about sun gazing, learn about protecting your health, drinking clean water, perhaps even distilled water if you can get it. Protect your temple. The temple of God is you. And protect that temple, nourish it, cherish it through your lifetime, but don't subjugate it to the system of control. There should be no control above you. You should be your own master. You should love yourself so as to do the right thing and to follow the golden rule of do no harm to another. But you should love yourself enough to say, I need no one to stand above me. I need no government or minister or pope or whatever to stand above me. I am my own authority. I am the gold. I am the sovereign. And each of us are that. But we've given away our sovereignty to these structures like a monarchy. And we should have anarchy, which is to have no room, your own love for God or this creation that we are so fortunate to be able to inhabit. So I offer you that, so that you go about your life knowing that you are the most special thing, and that if you can free your soul from the kind of entrapments of this Sodom and Gomorrah, as they call it, system, then you will live the brightest possible life that you possibly can, and you will give your family, your children, your husband in your life to come, you will give them the fullest life, knowing how special that you are. Because loving yourself first means that you can effuse that love. You can, from the cup overfloweth your love to those around you. But this system would never want you to know that. In fact, it's trying to discourage women from becoming mothers, girls from becoming mothers, and from husbands from taking wives and raising their children in a responsible way to be fantastic, husbands and wives of this earth, of nature, the place that we call home. From the Pope, these religious orders, down to the kings and queens and the governments and the schools and the education system and the system of taxation and control, medication. All these things have been designed to constrict and constrain your light. So learn about who you are and learn to free the light in you. And your life will be a more beautiful, loving experience, and it will be heaven rather than hell here on earth. Trinity4. Check it out on YouTube if you ever want to, and you'll see this there. What are your names?
Sophie and Lydia.
Sophie and Lydia. Lovely to talk to you. Thanks so much for your time. Stay very well. Oh well. That was a bonus conversation for you, my friends. Sophie and Lydia. Was it Cynthia? I'm sorry if you ever watch this back, young ladies. But you are wonderful. And get back to nature. Get back to nature. Follow your heart. But when you really get back to nature, then nature will talk to you and you can trust your heart. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day. I'll call it a day. Did you guys enjoy that? Was there anything that I needed to see? Man, what's in chat? Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, for everyone who's losing so much, but at the same time, we are going to gain very much too. Oh, I thought I was facing the other way. Sorry for the horrendous close-up. Anyway, guys, Ian, my friend, is there anything you wanted to add before I close this stream? Anyway, guys, Ian, my friend, is there anything you wanted to add before I close this stream? I had one or two decent conversations there today. I'm not getting a huge amount of views, but you know, that's my hands are pretty cold. Good day. You alright? Exchanging your energy between people has become such a alien. When they talk about an alien invasion, it's like we've been invaded by aliens, and the CGI cartoonery they give us for these COVID diseases and others such things are always rather alien in their appearance. Anyway, my friend, you got any parting words?
I can't think of much.
I have to confess, I'm feeling a little hungry. Hunger is starting to set in now. So, and cold. And cold. It's like I don't really want the stream to end because I want to keep talking in a way. At the same time, it's like a cute little girl. Mommy scowling, being a little bit strict. Could frighten a dog. No need for that. Yeah. I missed the 1 hour and 11-minute mark. I could have closed the stream then. Oh, okay. That's nice of you to say. That was cool. Oh, well, yeah. I think I already had. Michael, I had to say your comment twice because, you know, they're a little thin on the ground. This is not Owen Benjamin stream. The comments are flying by. I don't know how he manages it. Keeps up with it. Anyway.
Oh, that dude said, you look gay. And
Why did you have to bring that back up again, my friend?
I was laughing because this morning, when we were chucking the frisbee around, Dave said I look like a gay bear.
A gay bear, not a gay burr.
Taking a look back from the gays, right? Taking it back.
He's got tattoos all over his body, hairy chest and all that, and we're playing frisbee and he's taking off his shirt. I'm going with a beard and they're going on there, bro. Quite a gay look. So.
I'm taking it back.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Operation Popeye, you know, it's like we knew for a long time that a lot of what you know, we relied on in terms of the Magna Carta or the Declaration of Independence or whatever it is, or the 10 apostles, 10, what do you call it, 10 commandments for the American Constitution, whatever. You know, that this is all just kind of buffoonery or you know, facadery. It's a facade. The guy's got off and he's asked to read what I wrote. A facade. We've been stolen a long time ago. Our energy. Yeah. So the question is, what do we do to regain it? I'm shivering so much. Act. Have we contacted our chauffeur? Would you?
I assume she was watching, so we could tell her directly.
But they didn't get notified of the stream last time. She couldn't even find it until, well, I don't know if she only found it later on.
I'll call her.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Freaking alarm is bloody gone off. That's really annoying. Oh, thank goodness for that. Just a quick squirt. They were coming out the back door there. Oh, look, someone's reading the scribbles. I am... Nice dog. This has been outlawed in South Africa, by the way. Dog walking. Dog walking is no longer allowed, apparently. And you know what, as that guy said earlier on, if you heard that guy on the bike earlier on, I forget his name, but he was saying how, you know, the punctilious the shop assistant is. And I've seen this now more than once. You know, the shelf packer has now become a person of authority. The shelf packer has now become a person of authority. I mean, this is a guy in a mask. Yeah, he takes out the young child, but that's okay, at least he's masked up. Yeah, so you're going to see more punctiliousness and officialdom from people. I wonder if he lives here. And people genuinely justifying their... All right, mate?
Thank you.
Good, good. Ian's absolutely fascinated by these as skins. Well, I also have this theory that this cladding here, this wood, is all a second skin, and the extension above comes after they find the remains of the stone building here, and they continue to add onto it in order to kind of recover some lost floors. All having been, I mean, all the way down that street there, from whence that lady is walking. Having a stretch. I can imagine this all having been much lower down. Much lower down. Another lap, good for you. Nice to see you out. Yeah. Nice work. Keep it going. One more lap. See that? Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Sorry about my social distance. Not too close for you. Do you live here? Do you live here?
Yeah.
Have you heard of mud flood? Look into mud flood as a theory, because I think your house is a good evidence of mud flood. Mud flood on YouTube. Check it out. It'll blow your mind. All the best. I could have said Martin Leaker or something like that, but she's not going to remember that. Mud flood is easy to remember. Good day. Good day. Hey mate, I saw you. You saw my little scribbles on the thing there.
Ah, did you?
Do you mind if I ask you about that? Did it spark any interest in your mind?
Well, I just saw it. Do you know what? I've had people, I've had virtual reality put in my eyes before.
Yeah.
Contact virtual reality
Yeah.
without my know-how, and I've been spiked with LSD
Yeah.
to try and take my, losing basically my mind from within.
Ah.
And I had a conspiracy theory going on around me as well,
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Okay.
But it didn't work because I've always been on some sort of drug most of my life.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for me being on drugs, then I would have lost touch with reality. But I knew the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
I weighed it
Wow.
up quite well.
What's your name, mate?
My name's Shane.
Shane. I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Likewise,
Meet you,
mate.
Dave. Yeah. So,
Are you living rough these days, or?
I am, mate, yes. Yeah, I guess I was night here and there, like, family
Yeah.
and stuff, but at the minute, yeah, I sleep rough, yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay. And do you have children?
I've got one.
Yeah.
But I don't see her, I've not seen her for years.
How old is she?
She's in her teens now. She's
Right, man.
18, 19.
Wow.
But yeah, what you put there is designed for mind control.
Yeah, but what I mean by mind control is that actually they've called out COVID-19
Yeah,
and everybody's gone home.
yeah,
All they've done is gone COVID-19. People can get sick,
yeah,
go home.
yeah.
Do you know anyone who's died of it? And if they have, they're more than likely to be someone who's already near the end of their life anyway.
I'm not out, mate. All I know is that there's 30 people in our area that have died from it.
Yeah.
I didn't see that on the news last night.
So you haven't seen it for real for yourself,
No, I've
mate.
seen it for real, no.
See, you're a guy on the street, so if you would see people walking around and then falling over dead and stuff like that, I'd say, oh yeah, shit, maybe there's a problem, you know? But you ain't seen that.
No,
What you've seen is on the
I've seen
news.
is a lot worse. What I've seen is people on like Mamba, a drug,
Yeah.
and it's like zombie nation. It's like
Really?
people, everybody I know, they're like still on the spot like
Really?
that, and all the personalities have changed.
What's it called?
Mamba.
Mamba.
Yeah, it's like a synthetic cannabis.
Oh, wow.
It's a chemical. It's non-made.
Wow.
It's not like heroin or
Bad shit.
Yeah,
Bad
real
shit.
bad, yeah.
Cannabis is legit, man. That's not a drug. That's real good medicine. Cannabis is.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Yes, yeah.
Your body needs cannabis, actually.
Yeah, but this stuff is absolutely lethal. Like,
Yeah.
and if it's one thing I do, because I want to be a non-textbook drug worker,
Yeah.
but I do a lot of DJing and everything and stuff like that in the hardcore
Yeah.
underground scene.
Yeah.
And I'd rather, and if one thing I want to eradicate is Mamba,
Right.
because it's the only drug that I know that lowers and takes away, basically handicaps your personality, is in
Really?
your senses and how you control them, what you do.
Wow.
And mentally, like, and that's why I want it eradicated.
Well, I think, you know, with this COVID shutdown, I think it's presaging something more. There's something more coming. And it might, I only say might, Shane, but it might look like some kind of zombie apocalypse where people who've been doing spice or doing other, like vaping or even taking like, certain vaccines or whatever, something is going to change. Maybe they turn on the 5G or acting really weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
I think this might be just around the corner. So if that's the case, you just got to keep your head about you and try and lead those around you to some kind of safety, because the cities might be a bad place to be.
Yeah, I can certainly, I'll pick up on it straight away, like, you know, which sometimes I do, you know.
Yeah. Be wise and be wary, because there's some shit coming down the pipeline, my brother.
This next couple of weeks, yeah, I agree with this, definitely.
They are fucking with us in a universal style.
Yeah,
And they're doing it on purpose, with a goal and an ending and like an end, like an outcome that they're seeking.
Yeah, I mean, I've sat in for the last week, out of the way, but there's no one about really at the minute anyway, so
No.
I'm just as liable to get it here as where I am anywhere else.
Yeah.
But
they shut it all down.
Yeah.
Everyone down.
Yeah,
They've shut everyone down.
Yeah.
And only those ones that are open are the ones that they say can be open.
Yeah.
What kind of power does the government have? I mean, and they shut it down across the world at about the same time.
Yeah.
All these governments that don't like each other, now they're all playing nice.
But it's strange because I sensed it coming way before it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Some sort of, well, I'll be honest with you, I mean, you might laugh at this.
No, I don't
But
laugh
was
at things so
but
much.
When the Poppy Day, and it was having silence.
Yeah,
on
in
the high street.
November.
Yeah, I turned up while that was happening on the high street and I stood. And on the back end of it, I saw everybody stood still for 5 seconds. On the last 5 seconds, and then everybody stood dead still, and then everybody acted normal and started walking up.
Wow.
At the back end of it.
Wow. Wow.
And I saw that, and I was the only person.
Wow.
I've not told many people.
Wow.
But that happened,
Well,
and
thanks
that
for sharing.
sort of told me something was coming, and
Yeah.
then all this started.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can see things. And that's
Yes.
probably why you've been a little bit of an outcast from society, because you're a guy who can see shit. The people that can't see, those are the ones that they want them to be in power, positions of power, to be the doctors, the lawyers and stuff like that, because they can't see.
No.
So they're not a threat to the system, because they don't want powerful people to wake up and go, shit, I can see. It's a complete Ponzi scheme.
Bang on.
It is a Ponzi scheme, and they've screwed us all over. They screwed us all over, and some people have obviously, had the brunt of that screwing over.
Yeah.
But it seems to me like,
Well, I've seen things all my life, lots of different stuff. some dark things, like
Mm.
some other things, some good things. But my dad's the same. He can predict. He's like prophesise things. It's like Darren Brown as well. He's weighed him up straight away, and he's beat him to his own stuff, and he's come out. I'm like, what did he say a minute ago? What's up, man? He said exactly what after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think I get it from him.
Yeah. Well, it turns out, Shane, that I think that we to kind of give you some information that might be
Right.
useful is that like we are like electromagnetic beings actually of
Yeah.
light, and we come from this whole creation, and we are a particle of the whole creation.
Yeah.
We are meant to be this divine light. We go back to love. We come from love. We go
Yeah.
back to love. That's
Yeah.
that's the cycle. But we're here living sometimes a pretty grotty life, and that grotty life has been designed on purpose, and that's why everybody's gone indoors now, because everybody's actually in some form of grotty control system, and that's wrong. That's against God. That's against the creation. That's against nature. You don't take.
I've
you don't
heard
put,
two theories that
we're in a zoo now,
yeah.
and the zookeepers told us all to go in our box,
Yes,
and we all complied. We've all just gone along, got in our box.
Yeah, well,
Why?
You put a dog in a box, it doesn't do it any good, does it?
Doesn't do the dog any good. The dog's
Yeah,
meant to
my
get
dog.
outdoors and roam.
But then animals don't do to each other what we do, so...
Yeah, but if you love them, right, or if you treat an animal badly, the animal's going to be a bad dog. If you love the animal's going to be a good dog, right?
Of course.
That's the same with humans. If you fuck humans over from the day they're born, you poison them with vaccines, you give them shit TV, you give them a crazy education that makes them think they're monkeys or evolved monkeys and shit
Yeah.
like that, you fuck with them like that, then what do you expect? And then you make them go to work, and if they don't work hard enough or they're not smart enough in school and they don't get a high enough pay grade, then they're going to struggle. And then if they're going to struggle, they're going to make it go, fuck it, why should I have to work and struggle all my time while someone else earns 100 times what I earn?
Yeah.
What the fuck should I do that for? I might go and knock someone over the head or do something, you know what I mean, that I wouldn't have done otherwise. But from baby to a 21-year-old who's doing stuff like that, it's all been designed to fuck you up.
Do you know what? This generation dangerous in the last, and I've always said that. There's no such thing as normal now, mate, in the state of mind. The United States punishment is a level of lightning. But I've always said that, people are changing, music's changing, things like that, mental health's changing, mental illness is changing, drugs are changing. Yeah. It's like I've done the whole table of drugs, even the legalised, the powders, the tablets and that. And I'm not bigging it up. I'm just saying, if it wasn't for me taking drugs, I would have lost touch with reality a long time ago, and I'd probably be in a mental institute.
Right.
And that's a fact.
Right. Well, now is the perfect time for you to keep those
I
wits
pick
that
up
you've
things.
protected, because I feel like the same.
You've
You know,
got to protect
I
your
smoked cannabis for 30 years now,
Yeah.
and I think that I was somehow protecting myself from the ravages of the system that tries to compartmentalize and break up your mind.
Yeah.
Now, this time, Shane, in our human history, is going to be the time when warriors who've kept their mind together will need to stand up and do the right thing,
That's
because
right.
when good men do nothing, evil will continue to prosper.
That's right, yeah.
Our time is coming, brother.
Ground, yeah.
Our time is coming. So this is my, just my little bit of information to you. It's all good. We don't need to fear, no nothing, no control system, no
Well,
virus, no nothing.
I mean, I'm my name's Shane, but the real Shane's got to stand up, because I'm a TriStar, so I've got two other people that try and muck out to me anyway.
Mm.
And my point is, I've got to stand up at my certain time, a point, to say, like, I'm the real Shane.
Yeah.
Because people's identities are getting stolen and things like that.
Yeah.
Physically, now I believe that there's even a form of mind bibement,
Mind by me.
A machine where your mind can be taken.
Right.
I'm not saying that's real, I'm not saying it's going to be real, I'm just saying that.
Or if you get the chance ever to do
machines
DMT or ayahuasca, if you ever get a chance to do ayahuasca and open your third eye, you will maybe have you will have a conversation with God, or with something like God, where you will go, oh my God, I am a vessel of this pure love, and how do I honor that? But to love myself and to clean myself and be the temple of that love, of that creator, that creation that I'm
Do you know
part
what?
of.
All my life I was thinking, I had a way of thinking about something, and then I started hearing voices, so I thought. I've heard voices,
Yeah.
and then I've had I've had people play games, speakers in trees. I've had people through letterboxes in my loft. I've even had in the ear, in the hearing aids and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, look, try to make it really tough for reality. But then I realised at a certain point that I learned something about the whole of my life, and it all dropped into perspective, bang, 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 that quick that my mind couldn't keep up, and I had a premonition. I saw something.
Yeah.
I saw an eye in a hand, my own hand.
Yeah.
And I've always thought I've been telepathic, but I'm not saying that I am. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't since then I've had the unseen eye. The unseen
All
eye.
right.
And I can see it, and that's what I'm saying. I
Brilliant.
can see things that some
Brilliant.
people. Sometimes
Brilliant.
you have to look into mirrors and
Brilliant.
reflect things.
Yeah.
But I see certain things.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into what
Yeah,
I see
that's cool.
because I cassette that, like I say. But I see things, but other people don't see them.
No.
But they could see them if I maybe pointed them out. But I'll see three faces in one, depending on what angle it's at.
Wow.
Things like that,
Yeah.
and I'll see things moving about, you know.
Well, we definitely live in some kind of like multiverse, or some kind of, you know, there's definitely other energies, other levels of energies, you know. So people say that we're like a decoder, like your Virgin Skybox or whatever you got at home. There, but it decodes certain signals, right? So your brain is the same thing, and it decodes in a particular range or frequency. But outside of that frequency, there's a whole universe of other shit going on, what they call dark matter. Inside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But yeah.
yeah. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on, and sometimes people can see that. Sometimes people can connect with that.
Yeah.
And I think that you may be one of those people. And I think that you wanna do the best that you can over these coming months, because, like you said, that this year is going to be a huge year for humanity.
At first, you know what I thought it was? I thought, right, that there was an insect, right? Because my mum said, well, not long back last summer, that she had the bees going over her.
Yeah.
Right, I was on about like killer bees and stuff, like a big swarm. But now I was thinking about an insect that goes up your nose, and we can't see it, and it starts eating away at the back of your throat to the part of the brain, which is to do with your cognition and how it affects how you see things.
Right.
And you feel cold and you feel poorly and stuff. And I was thinking that everybody's got that going on. I even thought of that.
Yeah, it's like an alien invasion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
it's like an alien invasion.
You know the say magpies, Chinese stuff and stuff. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But I was thinking everybody that smokes heroin on the foil,
Yeah.
and they're in a room with these insects in there, and they're attracted to the spoil, and they're there on the spoil, and the things are jumping in and jumping. I was thinking that was maybe.
Well, I think the government is trying to create a situation where people are
been
willing to
thinking of all
take
these
the
things.
heroin because they're so frightened of COVID,
Yeah,
and then they
I
will
thought
jump into the fire.
But I've thought of lots of different theories about what, you know, maybe some sort of cure or some sort of something to try and eradicate it.
The only cure we need is common sense and truth.
That's
The
right,
truth,
yeah.
and
Well,
the
it's
truth is
propaganda
that
again,
COVID
innit?
is just is a cover for you know, what was a common cold.
But this water levels, sea levels, ocean levels flat. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean,
What's
what?
to do with COVID-19?
Not really, no. It's to
No.
do with the extent to which we've been lied to by our governments.
Yeah.
And that they've given us the schooling from kids when they say, oh, water will stick to a ball. You can't see it because it's too big, you know, so you just have to take our word for it. Take gravity, that's the word, and it means that water will stick to a ball, but in reality, water is always level. The lake, the pool, the pond, the sea, from one beach to as far as we can see, it's always level.
Yeah, and if you've got corrosion anyway on land, I mean, it's going to lower anyway, but you say there's flat, but then some people's...
The Earth?
Some people in Jordan quarters, and I don't think that's a bad thing in some cases, because when some people are in Jordan quarters, I mean, I think this whole place has been turned on its head anyway. A long time.
It has been, and we've been given this whole Darwinian science of evolution and so on, rather than creation. So you see, the creation story has you at the center. Darwin has you as a lucky strike who just happened to come through the mud.
Yes.
a fish and a marsupial and a monkey and eventually a man. None of this stuff can be proven. It's all theoretical bunkum. And so the same is true with gravity. The plant, the tree, the apple tree raises the water drop by drop over the season and then drops the apple. That's all you see.
I look at plants and trees and stuff. I mean, it does go on and that, but I mean, depending on because I do a lot of music and stuff. I mean, I'll do that from front but I do see a lot of things in trees and stuff as well.
Trees are
Faces.
living, yeah.
There's a lot of
Faces,
living
yeah.
things in them as well,
Yeah, trees are living and they're some kind of conscious and then we're connected to them. I saw that on the DMT.
Yeah, and at the minute, I mean, up on the air mine, I mean, they're building a new road up there. They're knocking a couple of flats and that down. They're just whipping the tree down left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's right. I mean,
Yeah.
I do a few lines, as in rat lines, like as in to do with tree fellas and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting. Now all these trees start getting cut down. I might just
Yeah.
scrap it from-
Well, we need to return to nature. Ultimately, we're going to have to return to nature, or we're going to get stuck in this system and make us weaker and weaker, sicker and sicker.
Well, you're not. Are you from Lincoln then?
No, I'm just visiting. Just
I've
visiting.
I've not seen you that side
Yeah.
before then.
Yeah. No, I'll probably be around again, so I'll look out for you, Shane. But I think I'm
Yeah.
going to have to go. My ride is waiting for
no,
me.
Nice speaking to you.
All the best, brother.
Yeah, you
Stay
as
well, man.
Yeah, will do,
Stay
man.
well.
You as well.
Nice to
Think
chat.
about what you've been on about as well.
Good man.
All right, man.
Cheers, pal.
See you later, man.
Well, friends, thanks for staying by. That conversation with Shane. A certain kind of emanating. And we're all one. So, oh, thanks, Mark, and thanks for that information from you. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get into that. Anyway, I've got to go, guys. I hope you're all well. Stay well. Thanks for staying. And yeah, get out if you can. I'll see you again soon. Yeah. Thanks again.